Hey, this is Dan with Nonprofit Tech Shop. Now listen, you probably have, if you're moving from one system to another, a whole lot of data that you want to bring into your new nonprofit CRM. You probably have donations that you want to show who has donated, how often, how much. You want to be able to report on this, and you want to look especially at historical data to see how it's going now or in the future. When you want to import historical data, specifically donations and the donors related to them, into your nonprofit CRM, into HubSpot, you're going to have to think about a few things. In this demo, we're going to walk you through what that looks like, things to think about, things to make sure are set up, and then show you simply how easy it is and how it all works in HubSpot. So we'll see you in the demo. Okay, so you want to take your historical data and you want to move it into your HubSpot, your nonprofit CRM. Here's what we're looking at. Now, here is a demo situation here, some dummy data, as it were. We've got a bunch of information here that we're going to talk about. Now, first of all, we have the deal name. This might be the deal ID. This might be your record ID. This might be the donation name. This might be all kinds of different things you might call this. But in HubSpot, what we want to do is call it the deal name. Now, if we named this something different, let's say, for instance, this was the donation ID. If that gets put into HubSpot, it's going to stop us and say we don't know what that is. We have to have we need to call this the deal name. The deal is the object that we're going to be working with. Now, deal, when I say that for HubSpot, we're going to assume that you know some things about HubSpot, but let's kind of get on the same page here. Deal is an object where we hold a lot of data. For instance, the deal in HubSpot is the revenue object. Deals, you might work, have your folks that you're working with, right? Your donors, your supporters, your constituents, your members. Those are the people, and in HubSpot, those are called contacts. All of your contacts are the people. So for instance, these D, E, and F, these columns right here, those are the people, right? Those are our donors, the folks that are giving us the money, the gifts, donating to our nonprofit. The rest of the information on either side of them is actually the deal information, the donation information. We're going to talk about what we need to give it a unique name. It's going to go into a pipeline that we're going to talk about, and then a stage within that pipeline. There's going to be a date, an amount. We're going to track the method here. We're going to talk about the campaign that this came from. Maybe we sent out some direct mail. Maybe we've got a YouTube video. Maybe we're on some podcasts. And then we're going to talk about if we have sent them a receipt. So these are all across the top there in row 1. These are the pipelines. This header row here are the properties that we're talking about in HubSpot. So there's that. Now, the object, so these are the people that we're talking about. And again, this information and this information over here is all about the deals themselves, the donations themselves. So we're talking about two objects. So when we go to do this import, I'm going to show you how to do a multiple object import. So we have the contacts that are going in and their donation. And if you notice, if you've got a keen eye here, we've got Riley Draven in here twice. Now this is the same email, ericdravenskid@example.com. It's the same one on both of those, but we have two different donations. We have one from 21 and one from 22. So this is going to show you how when these go in, we're not going to get duplicate contacts, duplicate people. We're not going to have two Riley Dravens. We're going to have two donations from Riley Draven, and that gets associated so we can see in Riley Draven's contact record how many donations they have made over the years. So that's going to come to fruition there. That's why we have this here. Okay. Now the other thing is, as I said, is properties. So let's go look at our HubSpot portal here and talk about this row right here, what these properties are. So if I go over to HubSpot and I go into my settings, and over on the left-hand side, I'm going to scroll down to properties under data management. Here are the properties that we work with in each of our objects. So we're going to select an object and go to deal properties. And we're going to search for, the first one I want to look for is back over here. We got pipeline stage, all that stuff. We got the donation method. That's something that probably isn't in there as a standard property. So we're going to go in here and we're going to look up donation method. And look, we've added this in as a custom property. It's a drop-down select. Let's look what that means. Open this up in the window here, and here are the choices we have. We got credit card, check, cash, other. By the way, this internal name right here has to match what is in your sheet. So you see these here all match. If this, instead of credit card, for instance, said CC, that wouldn't match. So we want to make sure that that matches, because otherwise it won't import for us. So in structured data like this, it has to match. Now, unstructured data is something different. So for instance, if we're looking up, we want to track what campaign we have that this is connected to. In our portal here, our demo portal, we have a couple of different options. We've got this campaign here, single line text. This group is an organizational thing. It's GAU. I'm not sure what that is, so I want to use this one right here, campaigns, which is single line text, and just the general deal information. So campaigns is what we're going to use for that specific property. Single line text, that's unstructured data, which means back in the over here, campaigns right here is what we're calling it. That matches. And then the data here, if I, let's say, instead of calling this podcast ad, I just call it pod, or we'll say pod, there we go. Then podcast ads and pod wouldn't match. It isn't going to, it's going to, like if I want to create a report about all of the donations that came in from podcast ads, I'd have to put in podcast ads, podcast, pod, podcast ad, pod ad, like who knows what. So unstructured data can be difficult to use later, but it also can be great for when we're doing imports and the data just really is unstructured, or if we have an integration that pushes data from, let's say, Facebook and their ad names into this, then that's where we want to keep this as unstructured data or single line text. And then this one over here, receipt sent, is just going to be a single checkbox. Is that box checked or is it not? If it's checked, it's true. If not, it's called false. So we're just leaving that as true. That's kind of a little like coding thing there, but there you go. So hopefully that makes sense so far. This sheet has to have the top row is the headers. The data has to be in here. We have to make sure it corresponds to properties in HubSpot. And then what we get to do is we get to go to our imports. And I'm going to go, you can go do this from contacts or from deals. When you go to create or add, you can do an import. So right there it says add contacts. If we were doing this, let's do this from deals instead. You can do it from contacts or you can do it from deals. Doesn't really matter. But in the top right corner, when you add a record, you can just say import. So there we go. We're going to click import. And I want to import a file. That looks good. See here's a screen with a lot of options. We're just going to say we're adding CRM data. That is true. So we're starting to import. Now we're importing deals, but in that deals sheet, we also have contacts. We want to make sure that we're adding the donor information, right? So we got contacts and deals, both that we're adding. We're going to hit next. It's going to be in a single file. That's true. Then you've got some how to import what you're importing. Now for deals, we're going to only create new deals. We're going with the idea that we're bringing in historical data from an old CRM or an old just spreadsheet into this fancy new nonprofit CRM called HubSpot. We're only creating new stuff for that. But what we might have is updating context. These contacts that we have in the sheet might exist in our CRM right now. So we don't want to create new ones. We want to just simply update. If they don't exist, we're going to create. So creating new deals only and creating and updating contacts, that's what we want. Now I get to go and I get to choose my file, go to my downloads, grab this file here, and then everything else looks good and I'll hit next. Now HubSpot gets to go in and say, okay, let's get this ready for us. Look at that. We have a warning already. Deals. Let's open this up here. We want to map pipeline stage, but deal name, and that's not being mapped right now. I wonder why that is. When I scroll down, look at this. The first one, deal name, is attempting to go to a contact property called deal name. I don't want that. I want to go to a deal properties. I'm going to search right here. I'm going to search under the deal property instead of choose or create. I'm going to deal name. I'm going to search, and there it is. So now these deal names will go into the deal property. That looks good. Deal pipeline goes to the pipeline. Stage goes to stage. First name goes to the contact property first name. That makes sense. Same with last name. Same with email. Going to email. That's great. Donation date. Oh, doesn't say anything here. Let's see how this looks. Donation date. It's going to be a deal property. And this is going to be in HubSpot verbiage. It's the close date. So the when this happened, when this got moved into the donation is closed. That looks good. Amount. Oh, that's showing contact properties. We want to go back to deal properties. So pretty easy to change these things, as you can see. And it's not perfect. Sometimes, HubSpot looks at it and goes, oh, I wonder if it's this. And we can go ahead and change it. Look at that. We're mapping it. Great. Donation method. Campaigns goes to campaigns with the S. We like that. Receipt sent. That looks good. Okay. This looks great. So I'm going to hit next. You can create a contacts segment or list from this import. So if those 10 people that we're importing, there's 11 names, 11 deals, but there's 10 people, we could create a list of those folks or a segment. And then from there, we can use that for other, for all kinds of stuff. But I'm going to skip that for now. I'm going to say, of course, I agree that all contacts are expected to hear from me, that I have permission to email them if I need to. That is true. This is old data, so I do have that. From there, I'm good with everything else. I'm not going to talk about enriching these records or anything, but this looks good. I'm going to click Finish My Import. HubSpot goes and it does the work for me. So we're going to it doesn't take very long, which is great, especially with a small amount here. We've got 11 total rows, 21 records, which means 10 contacts and 11 deals. That seems to be right. 11 associations. This looks great. And we're done. That happened very quickly. So I'm going to go over here to deals, and we're going to see what these deals look like in real time. So we've imported these deals. Look at that. Sam Allen 2021 05 11. So as we named these, I'm going to flip back over to the sheet here. The name is the donor's name, Harper Lee, and then the date right there of the donation. So that's just a little an example of how you can name these. You can name them however you need to. Make sure they are unique. You don't just want to say donation, because then they're all just going to say donation. It's hard to figure out who they are. But your unique identifying name here can be really important. So I look over here. Sam Allen, that looks good. Ashton Jones, Pat Halligan, this all looks really good. Now, this Riley Draven one right here, see, we've got two. We got 2022 and 2021. That's what we wanted. Now I'm going to click on that. So here is the donation. And it's the amount, $222. That is correct. But we don't see here what campaign they came from. So I'm going to click on Actions and go to View All Properties. And I'm going to look up here to see, first of all, did we send the receipt? Look at that, we did. Now, I could add this to this pane over here on the left-hand side if I want to customize it. I can do it there. But I can also just see if that exists. If the data is in there, and I want to see it, I just search for it, and there we go. There it is, right? Now, I also see on the top right corner here that Riley Draven is the contact associated to this Riley Draven donation. Great. So what does that mean? If I click on Riley's name over here in the top right corner, it takes me to their contact record, Riley Draven. Here's the person. If I had their phone number, here's their email. If I had their phone number, it'd be in there. On the right-hand side over here, here's the donations, right? Now, it looks like we've got some old data in here. I've been doing some demos on this portal and stuff for a while, so it's got an extra deal showing up. That's not accurate, but everything else looks good, though. Look at that. We got the donation here. We got 3 deals, allegedly. Again, I don't think one of them is a duplicate, so that's good. We'll have to delete that. But here's the other 2. The donation from 2021, donation from 2022. So I could create a report to say, show me all of our donors who have given at least 2 gifts or more. And then it would show Riley and whoever else has done that. Now, if I go to another contact, and this is where your CRM management comes in, you're like, oh, there's duplicate deals. We should clean that up. That's absolutely right. So if I show all of our contacts here, I say, I want to know who this Harper Lee is. How did Harper interact with us? Harper Lee has given a $200 donation back on March 23, 2019. Now it's 2025 right now currently. That's a long time. That's 6 years ago. Probably don't want to just email Harper for no reason, but maybe I can do something where I can get Harper to come back in and give some more. So that is how we bring historical data into HubSpot. We start with our spreadsheet, and then we make sure that we have the properties connected to our headers here. When we do the import, we map our data, and then we go check it. That's how we bring in historical data. Okay, there you go. Great way to pull in data into your new nonprofit CRM. Make sure that you hit a subscribe, hit that like button. Make sure you leave a comment if you got a question down below. We are here to help. And go to nonprofittechshop.com to find all kinds more resources to help you get in your nonprofit, understand contact relationship management, CRM systems. This platform, especially HubSpot, can help modernize what you've got. Did you know that your data is more complex than a lot of B2B organizations? So don't put yourself in a silo. Don't have legacy software clunking around in your organization. You want to make sure that you're looking at something modern and sleek and customizable like HubSpot. So we're here to help. Leave a comment if you have a question. Go to nonprofittechshop.com. Don't forget to subscribe for more information as we go.